You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. Yo, and today, folks, we got a special treat. I want to be talking to a co-founder and CEO of Passage, all right? It's a company that supports event tickets and payment specialists to provide affordable prices and better customer service with tailored functionality. Now, the person I'm talking to here, this co-founder, this CEO, he is a maven for horror. Let me tell you, he's the top boss. That passion has led him to help festivals and technology and all this stuff. Let me introduce this living future legend over here that everyone will know about through Passage, the one, the only Alex Linebrink. What up, kiddo? How you doing today?
Hey, Al, thank you so much. That's probably more intro than I deserve, but I love it, man. Thanks so much for the warm welcome.
Nah, brother, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to actually chat with me and us so we could find out all about what Passage is. Because, of course, you know what I mean? Comic Crusaders need to talk to everybody, especially in the fact that you seem to have a passion for horror festivals. And who doesn't nowadays? I mean, let's get it done, Al. This is the other Al, and let's get it done. All right? So a little bit about yourself, because I always like to start off with an origin story. So if you would, let us know where you're from, and, where you hail from, where you at now.
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in a small farm town by the name of Hillsdale, Michigan. It's a pretty small town, kind of in the south central part of Michigan. Okay. And there, got a really cool experience of that rural life growing up. But since then, I've moved to Detroit, to the bigger city. Really been a Michigander all my life and live in downtown Detroit right now.
Awesome. Okay, so how was it growing up out there in Michigan? And lately, I've been getting a lot of people from out there. For people to say that Michigan is quiet and down, I'm getting a lot of entrepreneurs from out there. They seem to be taking advantage of the opportunities that are there at hand right now. Wonderful.
Well, yeah, that's awesome to hear. That's great to hear on that side. And I do think there's some cool stuff happening around here. So yeah, growing up, obviously, like I came from a rural town. I had, Amish friends growing up and that sort of thing. Like it was a little bit different, pace of movement. I think the nearest movie theater when I was growing up was about 40 minute drive away, something like that. We didn't have a ton to do, but that just means you get outside a little bit more, and learn some life lessons a little bit earlier than you would otherwise. So I've enjoyed that. And man, Detroit, the ecosystem over here now, this is being the bigger city in Michigan. I know there are a lot bigger ones out there, but the bigger city in Michigan, man, like the ecosystem here is all about that entrepreneurial vibe, all about that hustle, all about that grit, all about doing what it takes to hustle and build something on the side. And I love it. There's a cool spirit in Detroit of working hard and having some friendly competition, but also making sure that everybody else, gets theirs, right? Like make sure that everybody else is doing well too, because if you're supporting each other and everybody's going up, then everybody kind of goes up together and gets the benefit of that. So that's the spirit in Detroit, and it's
You're not lying,
for the
brother.
Entrepreneurial scene. Yeah,
it kind of you treat entrepreneurship as you would a kid. It takes a village.
Yep, that's absolutely true, man.
Even in entrepreneurship, and it's nice to hear that that friendly competition, guess what? It just makes each and every one just that bit better, to keep chugging forward, and you celebrate those wins with everyone. You know what I mean? Sure. Hopefully you're not celebrating any losses, because then it'll piss everybody off.
Something like that, yeah.
So you obviously, from what I understand, have a big old passion for horror. I need to know what started it off and who introduced it to you. If it wasn't some stuff.
Yeah, it was my dad, my father. My father's birthday is on Halloween. And when we were growing up, instead of doing cake and ice cream, we would actually build a haunted yard around the house. And we build it and got more families involved every year. We'd be like front page of the paper around Halloween and all this cool horror stuff.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Yeah, we'd be building the props and stuff. We'd watch horror movies and stuff, around that time of year too. But we got to the point where we were spending like 4 weeks building this haunted yard leading up to like Halloween. We'd only be open one night a week, and we'd still get 1,500 people there or something like that.
At your house?
Just on Halloween night in our yard. Yeah, we had like 4 or 5 families involved. It was a blast. And then, so we got so into this that we actually started going to conventions and conferences and stuff. Saying,
nice.
All right, so like we're involved in this. What about other people? What other people do? And we found these.
Wait a minute. You're telling me there are conventions for like setups and decoration like that?
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. You're introducing me to something new there.
and it gets into haunted houses. So that's the difference in that industry is like they call you home haunter. And that's somebody that sets up their yard or like goes crazy with it, right? And then professional haunter, and that's somebody who runs a haunted house. And so the conventions, people, both sides were welcome, and you'd both like get to share tips and stories and stuff. There's a big one every year in St. Louis called Trans World. That's a huge one we go to every year, and we started going to back then. And another one that used to be in Columbus, but now it's in Chicago area, called Midwest Haunters Convention. There's a bunch of others that we've got to. I've been to them in Texas, and they're all over. Some smaller, some bigger. Yeah. So that's how I originally got into it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right.
Is there any particular movie that stands out from your childhood?
Oh, Halloween.
That's the one.
That's the one, man. Yeah, I mean, I loved a lot of them. Like even like Edward Scissorhands had a big impact on me. Like there are all these, but like Halloween, of course. Yeah, Mike Myers, man.
Big Mike Myers. What did you think about the Rob Zombie version of Michael?
Oh, I love it. I love Rob Zombie stuff. I'm a big fan of all the stuff that he does. So yeah, I know some people are like, it's not true to the original and stuff like that. Whatever. I thought it was a great reimagining. I'm not one that's super particular on the originals. If you're as long as you're adding to it, right? Like, don't just distort something to distort it. But like, as long as you're adding a dimension, and I thought it was there, man. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you 100. I'm a big fan of that one as well. I thought it was terrifying. I mean, as I got older, I did find a point in that movie when he was killing someone in a hospital. I was like, all right, Mike, I'm screaming at you. All right, they're dead. Stop. They're super psycho as compared to the OG. I mean, okay, not a problem with that. All right, so I guess you must have been kind of a very popular kid if you having these such cool, haunted homes, or how was that, environment growing up overall, community wise with kids that are like-minded like you? Did you even have that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fun part there was like I actually used it as an excuse to get friends together, right? So I would bring friends over to our place, get them involved in helping us build stuff. So it was kind of a community thing. We'd get people that were up the street, families up the street coming by, and we get them all together. And yeah, it was just this bonding thing. And we got to learn some cool stuff. So every year I'd have a different project. So that's how I started tinkering with like robotics and stuff. I'd make pop-up, props that as you walk by and trip a laser or whatever, they jump out at you, or like there'd be pneumatics in them and stuff like that. So I got to learn.
How did you get into that journey? Wait a minute, robots, pop-ups, that sounds fantastic. Oh man, we would have been such great friends.
Yeah, man. Back then it wasn't as much YouTube, right? It was like just searching the internet, but everybody had these guides on the internet, so you could get into this stuff. And that's how you'd learn it, and get the basics there. But it was a blast. I loved it. My friends loved it that were involved in it. I brought friends home from college. When I went to go into college, we'd always come back and I'd bring them back to help on things. So it was a blast growing up. Yeah.
Amazing. So would you say that those are the seeds of your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, I mean, we were always, my father owned his own construction business, right? And my mother actually did the same thing she did wallpapering and some wall prep stuff. And so they both worked with their hands a lot, but they were both very entrepreneurial from early on. And I think I took a little bit of a cue from that. In middle school, I actually, with my father, started a computer business where we would build computers and also repair them for people. So I was the only kid, this is back, when would this have been? Like the mid 1990s. I was the kid that was making $30 an hour repairing and building computers, while I was at middle school. So I was always the popular kid on that side, right? Like had a little more disposable money.
You
than
must
my
have
friends.
been pimping too, because once kids find out you made $30 an hour, everybody want to be your friend. Like, hey, well, hold on,
right?
kiddo, come over here.
Yeah.
What are we doing tonight with your check?
I had a nicer gaming PC and played paintball a little bit more than some of the other kids. But
I love
still,
paintball.
Worked for all of it. Yeah.
I had an autococker, a Titman 98 as well.
Titman 98. That's what I had as well. Yeah, with the auto fire. Oh man, like I love that.
Did you ever learn the trick of the sideways to have them curve?
Oh yeah, that's what you got to do. You can keep them in the air longer. You could do the flatline barrel, which put the reverse spin on it. Do you remember the flatline?
Yes. Oh, no. but for me, it was the side. I remember one of my friends was hiding behind a bunker because it was we split teams, and all you saw is his butt. I was like, wait a minute. I shot it. It took me a minute. 3 times. One grazed him. The other one grazed him. The last one hit him right in the middle. Poor guy just popped up. And when he popped up, everybody just shot him. It looked like a Tony Montana scene from Scarface. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
It was awesome.
What was that movie that they used to say curve the bullet, right?
Oh,
I can't remember what that was. But
yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, when he goes, yeah, I know. Yeah, man, movie fan here. All right, so what I understand you're the co-founder in CEO of Passage.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the seeds behind that? Like,
man.
When did that idea start to develop, and why, that?
Well, I was hands-on. I think a lot of that was from the haunted houses and from my father being, a construction guy. He was super hands-on. So I was always hands-on and interested in building things. I went away to school as an electrical engineer up at Kettering University in Flint. Go Bulldogs, even though they don't have any sports teams. Go Bulldogs. But so I did the electrical engineering thing and got my hands real dirty in the world of engineering, and I hated it actually. So that surprised me. I kind of hated it. But I learned a lot while I was there. So I worked at General Motors for a few years. And when as co-op thing, you do school for 3 months, then go to work for 3 months.
I did the same thing in New York. Yeah. And
nice.
But I was doing more of accounts payable, receivable kind of stuff, accounting work. So I did the same thing in high school. 1 week work, 1 week. This is why I couldn't do sports or anything, because it's like, okay, the schedule does not allow me. But guess who has a check in their pocket and who didn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was valuable
life experience. Yeah.
It was very valuable.
I got in up there, and I was not a huge fan of working for somebody else. That's what I found with General Motors. Really cool. Like I could look down the road and say every other car you see, I'm like, I'm part of that. What put that together? But then I realized I'm not really. All the stuff that I'm doing doesn't have much, if any, impact on that at all while I was working there. And so I really wanted to get back into what my father taught me early on, building something myself, building a company myself. And I did. I started a web and graphics design business and did that for a couple of years and worked for some cool brands doing that. And then I decided I wanted to ramp it up and get a little bit bigger impact.
Wait. So you got the graphics and all. So, so you deviated and got into that. Did you always did you enjoy doing that? And how did you what made you decide to, step from that engineering to that graphics side? Like, what really happened?
I had that in my back pocket. That was something I was always a little bit interested in. I was one of those weird kids that straddled the creative and the technical, as I assume, you might have some relation to there.
Yeah, we're 90s kids. I get it. Because we're of that generation that we played outside, but we were also on the cusp of the birth of this technology. Right. And we were young enough to be able to enjoy both, balanced, unlike kids nowadays.
Well, I won't comment too much on that, but
I won't say this, but I have employees
that are younger than me. So I had a leg in both ends, both the creative and that. So I'd been doing a little bit of that for some extra cash in high school, as in addition to like the computer repair stuff. And I kind of kept it going through college to pay some bills, and I just decided to kind of make it more full time after college. I'm like, you know what? I wanted to build my own thing. But even though it was web and graphics design, I was still kind of local to where I lived. So I decided I'm going to build something that's in social media. Twitter was starting to pop up. I saw that pop up. I'm like, this is cool. Let's figure out something with that. And I built what was the first Twitter scavenger hunt. And we were a company called Tweeta Prize, really. We did these scavenger hunts.
Prize, I love it. Awesome.
It was awesome, yeah. And we did scavenger hunts for like airlines and like GameStop and Guitar Hero when they were coming out. And then like some stuff, Gary Vaynerchuk, he launched a book, did promos for one of his books with us. FearNet, which was an old cable
TV channel. How did you even
channel.
land that stuff? I mean, look at these names. I need a broom for these names you're dropping. Whoa, that's awesome.
It was awesome. State Farm, that was another big client we had. And it was great, except here's the big lesson here along my journey. I was funding it all through, straight out of pocket, through credit card debt.
Oh, ooh.
And even though we got some big names and started taking off, it was going a little bit more slowly than my old business plan allotted for. And pretty soon I came to the end of that credit card, limit and said, okay, this has got to change, So I actually decided to get out of that business and kind of cancel that because I had another idea that I wanted to work with some of friends that I met back at Kettering, that engineering school I went to up in Flint. And these buddies, we had this idea for this really technical solution to corporate expense reporting. Before, all these new ways of connecting things, you still had to do a lot of manual data entry, even if it was digital. You still had to plug all these details in or maybe fill out a piece of paper. It was heck. So we built an app for that. But here's the thing. Android wasn't a thing yet. The iPhone was still just for personal use, not for business. So I remember going back, I saw these the other day. All of our app mock-ups early on were on a BlackBerry.
Oh, man. That was a great phone. I loved it. And then they owned, Messenger. I mean, it was great.
You got keyboards.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, look at these thumbs, though. I mean, that keyboard wasn't very friendly to me, though.
Fair, fine. So we did that for a little bit. That business never really made it off the ground, but I moved to Detroit. That's what took me to Detroit. And I think 2008 was when I moved over here with them, somewhere around 2007, 2008. And that business, we got to look into the world of payment processing. And here's getting closer to where I was today. This is only one business in the past now. We were digging into payment processing because we wanted to connect and get the data right from the card. And that's how we were filling out this data. So you didn't have to fill out an expense report. We were filling it out for you, basically. And we had teamed up with a debit card, a bank that had a debit card that we were going to work with. That business actually, even though we went through all the planning, never made it off the ground. We never got the investment we needed, but we found that opportunity in payments in the debit card and credit card space. And we figured out how to cut fees for a lot of really big businesses. And we created this enterprise company called Core Merchant that would go to enterprise businesses and help them save a few cents a transaction. But when you add that up across millions of transactions, it was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No longer sense.
Exactly.
And it makes sense. Hey.
Yeah. And that was very profitable for us. It did well. I ended up selling that company in 2014. And I knew the payments world then. I learned a lot about how payments work. And so because of that, I wanted to stay in the payments world, got together with this tech buddy of mine, as you said, co-founder of Passage. My other founder, his name is Patrick Mish, amazing full stack software engineer. Just one of these guys that's just super genius on the software
side. What's the bromance story on that led to the creation of this wonderful company?
I'll tell you, we both got investment through different companies from the same investors and worked out of the same office space. And we both enjoyed beer.
Hey, cheers to that.
So that's how that relationship came to be. And we both found ourselves like, hey, like I had sold my company, he had exited his company, and we were both looking for something to do, got them together. And I said, hey, like, I think there's something with payments and events. And actually, I know what's going on here because like the world of events at the time, here's where the idea of Passage really came from. The world of events back in, let's say, 2013, 14, Eventbrite was out there to do online event ticketing for self-service. And then there's Ticketmaster if you're a big venue. But let's talk about like events that you or I could run, like a small to mid-sized event.
Comic cons, horror cons, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Eventbrite was out there and they did okay as long as it was a super generic event, right? Like one date, one time, one price point, one venue. But if you needed multiples of any of those, like spread across multiple venues or spread across multiple dates and times and all that sort of thing, it just didn't work. It didn't have the features because they wanted to be super simple. So we're great for concerts and book clubs, but really nothing else. And I said, like, there are all these weird event categories, and I know one really well, but there are all these weird event categories that need more features, and they're going to grow up. And the one I knew very well was haunted houses, right? Because they need to repeat their times. They need to be open Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday night. They need to repeat that for 6 weeks from the end of September to the beginning of November. Go through that month of October there, right? And maybe make you pick the hour you're coming. And maybe they have multiple attractions and they need to do those together. And they need to accept payments in the middle of a cornfield, and it's just not normal stuff. Yeah. And so I said, if this works out, then there are probably other specialty categories like that. So that's where Passage came from. We wanted to be the ones that worked with the niches, worked with the smaller event categories that needed these special features. And we'd build those special features and help them reach their fans. So to this day, our initial sub-brand, in vertical was haunted houses. And we're the largest provider through that brand. That's called HauntPay. That's a sub-brand of Passage. Nice. We're the largest provider of haunted house ticketing in America. This year in October, we'll probably do $40 million in haunted house ticket sales. Yeah.
Woo! Look at that. Congrats. You hear this, folks? I'm just getting inspired. Look what the homie does. And he's navigated different things to finally land and, into that door. But, oh my God, that's great. That's the story I need in my life right now. Let's make Comic Crusaders a $40 million, $50 million company too, baby. Let's get it going.
Love it. And we do that for other categories too. So we have a whole vertical dedicated to like sports, which seems like there'd be a lot of competition. But weirdly enough, like if you want to sell, let's say, season passes, which shouldn't all sports teams sell season passes, right? Like that's the thing, right? Only the major league levels are really able to do it with their ticketing platforms. Like if you do semi-pro or amateur sports, there's no platform out there with the features you need to do that. So we came in and we started doing it. We started cleaning up, and now we're the largest provider of like semi-pro sports ticketing, for soccer and a couple other areas in the U.S. So like that's another area we've gotten into. We have another brand for food and drink festivals, another one for escape rooms, and that's our thing. Find these niches where they need extra features and functionality, and we'll go in there and help them run more efficiently. Yeah,
I love it because you're making these smaller companies or and events seem like something massive. I've learned that from an entrepreneur as well. His website, everything he did, you would think he had a huge warehouse somewhere, but in the office it was just me and him. It was the appearance of, but however, delivered the product the way that it should be delivered. And what you're doing is a service. I'm happy that smaller companies could be able to actually compete with the big boys and girls out there, and that's way because of you.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Amazing, bro.
And we get a chance to look at that all the time, and we have people come to us. We work with about 5,000 events and event organizers a year, and probably 2.5-3 million fans a year. And it's just amazing going to those folks and being able to talk to them and hear some of them say like, hey, like, we were struggling to get by, and then we started working with you, and you gave us that opportunity to not only do tickets, but to do merch, to do concessions, to do subscriptions, to do digital NFTs. We just added that on,
really?
Right?
Oh, how did you get into the NFT space too? Then look at this, yo. I love this. This is the folks. This is exactly how you need to be. Be hungry like this guy is. Look at this. Finding opportunity.
You got to keep your eyes open, of course, right? And I don't know, like I'm sure you've got some experience, like digital collectibles, right? That's right up the comic alley, right?
Absolutely is. I mean, we have Dynamite doing that, and several other companies, and obviously the Ape Yacht Club, whatever, which is murdering things. On the NFT side of it. I mean, how did you even get into the NFT side, and how is that used through Passage?
Yeah, man. So I've been a blockchain nerd for a long time. I started, I probably bought, actually, funny story. Back in 2011, I went to one of those Bitcoin faucets, and I was like, what is this Bitcoin stuff? And I used this thing, and I can't remember if it was 5 or 10 Bitcoin, but I got 5 or 10 Bitcoin from this faucet. It was worth like 37 cents, right?
At the time.
Oh
my God. You can't.
I've done this so often, man. Like I kid you not, like I just totally like disregarded it. I'm like, I don't know what all these numbers are. This is way too difficult. And I threw away my wallet file. Yeah. And And I've gone through so many old computers, like digging up the hard drives. I've got hard drive converters so I can run the old ones with the USB-C now.
I
and
don't
stuff.
blame you. Where is
I
it?
spent so many hours, trying to figure out, hey, do I still have that? What would be like 250 grand right now?
Heck yeah. I mean, that'd be a nice injection into the bank account. That's for sure.
Right. So I never found that. I don't actually know if it was 5 or 10, but I think it was 5 or 10 that I got out of that faucet.
Listen, 5 or 10 with that value that it had right before it started dropping a bit, but now it's back on the upswing. I mean, you would have been very happy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. I'm still like I'm a purist, right? Like I love the blockchain gospel. And I consider myself a blockchain evangelist. We actually did a blockchain project back in 2017 and 18 with the company where we tried to get like all tickets stored on there. And there were a lot of reasons that it didn't work out. It was a little bit too early. It was just a little bit too early with the tech, but so our investment and stuff, like we had to focus on our core business and kind of got away from it. But it was a blast. I toured the world, talking about blockchain, just telling people you got to use this to prevent fraud. You got to use this for tracking food. You got to use this for distribution centers. You got like all this different stuff. I went to Singapore. I went to Portugal, Poland, just all over the place talking about it. It was a blast. Yeah. I've got a bunch of YouTube videos out there if you ever want to see somebody rant about their love for the blockchain. Did TEDx talks and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice, kiddo. You've been doing things. I like that. Awesome.
But like I've been paying attention since then. And back then we kind of had the idea of like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, right? Something that's like going to be slightly different for everybody. It's not duplicable. It's not like everyone is the same. Like if you got CA1, you want to have CA1. And we're talking about that for tickets. And I still think it's a great usage because especially when you talk about secondary market, when you're reselling tickets on StubHub and stuff, 1, fees are ridiculous. 2, there's tons of fraud. Like there's just all these problems around this. There's no transparency to the end user. Like it just fixes a lot of those issues. So that's what we were pitching back then in 2017. I still think that's the future of event ticketing. That's between you and I, don't tell anybody else. I think that's where we're going eventually. But for right now, we're trying to just drip into it a little bit. So we've come back full circle to this. We have launched digital NFT collectibles on the Passage platform. And here's the thing here. Like if you think about NFTs, a lot of people don't know what the heck that means. They don't want to get a blockchain wallet. They don't want to understand how to mint something or how to buy something with cryptocurrency and get it over to their blockchain wallet, right? There's a lot of usability issues there. So with us, we just turned it into something that was part of our platform. So just like if you create a new event, you're filling in some blanks. We keep it real simple. For event organizers, we're allowing them to create these digital collectibles by just uploading a digital asset like image, video clip, GIF, whatever, that, titling it, putting a price on it, putting a description in it, and then hitting go. And we take care of we are the custodians. So we take care of the blockchain wallet. We take care of the minting. They don't see it. There's no cost on that side for the event organizer to create these. And then on the purchaser side, you can just buy it with a credit or debit card. It's tied to your account on Passage if you just want to view it and hang out with it or get some of the benefits of it, which I'll talk about in 2 seconds here. But then you can push over, and if you want, you can claim it later on and transfer it to your wallet. If you're an advanced user and you want to resell it on OpenSea or whatever, you can do that. But the cool thing there is I think it gets rid of that barrier to entry, makes it a lot easier, and we can add functionality. That's the other thing I hate about a lot of NFTs. It's like you see these squiggles and these drawings, right? And we know they're scarce. There's a limited number of them out there, and that's why they're collectible. But you can't do anything with it. It's just a JPEG, as far as most people are concerned.
Yeah, that's exactly how most view it. I have that conversation many times.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I get that there's still value in scarcity and value in ownership and that sort of thing. But what if you could do more with it? And I think those are the real successful NFT projects now where they're adding utility to it, right? They're letting you do something. I just heard about one the other day that gets you into a speakeasy in New York. Like super cool, right? And so that's what we're doing as well. We're adding in the event functionality. So you can use this kind of like a ticket in a lot of ways. You can use it to get into a certain event or get into a special VIP area of an event. Or maybe get access to a virtual live stream that an event organizer puts on. Maybe an artist, periodically does private shows only to their NFT holders and stuff like that. Or you get access to an early merch, thing sale for a sports team that you follow and things like that. So I think there's a lot of cool opportunity there.
I really think you need to start talking to San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. Let's start bringing that into that space, yo.
Yeah.
And I had to bring up, you're talking about the passes. What a beautiful site you guys have.
Oh, thank you, man.
For real.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. So talk about the site, everything. I mean, look at this. Get ticket and the payments made for you. Who could sign up? Who takes advantage? I mean, I could sign up and what, or is this more business related? I mean, what's popping here?
Dude, I appreciate that. Thanks for the easy layup here on this side. But, yeah, I mean, we think, your experience, with everything you do, and your experience, especially when you're trying to impress your fans, should be beautiful. And that's one of the reasons we've tried to make Passage beautiful, as you can see here. It's really customized to the look and feel of all the different event categories we work with, and the features, as we mentioned, to help them run more smoothly. And your experience as an event organizer, if you want to sell tickets to your event, like, it's really, beautiful on that side too. But more than that, it's usable, and it's actually going to help you reach more fans. So yes, if you are organizing an event of any shape or size, come over there, say hi to me, feel free to reach out to me directly, but also feel free to just go sign up. It's a free account. There's no commitments. You can use it, try it out, create a free event, sell yourself some free tickets, see if it works for you. Check out the virtual event live streaming. Check out the digital NFT collectibles that you can create and sell, all that sort of stuff. And, we're really built for those small to mid-size events, and trying to help, bring those professional features and letting those small events compete. As you mentioned, bringing them to those smaller event categories. But anybody that wants to use this, we're there. It's absolutely free for the event organizer to use. And I can't repeat that enough. We make our money on a service fee that's
folks, free.
Right. We still have to make money. I don't want to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, but it's on a service fee that's charged to the ticket purchaser. And ours is half of what Eventbrite's is. It's, in most cases, way lower than Eventbrite's, way lower than anybody else out there, because we don't want that getting in the way either. So
I have another one for you. You need to take business away from Eventbrite right now and help NYC Play get even better, the video game convention here in New York.
They
work with Eventbrite, but guess what? I think you guys may be able to do a lot more for them, because they have such a great space and opportunity there. Again, and come on, NYC Play. Look, spend less time managing your event.
We want to work with you. Yeah, guys. I know somebody's watching, right?
Yeah, and look at this. You got League 2, NBC Sports Engine, like you said, the soccer, United Women's Soccer. I mean, whoa. And look, the Fright Factory, the Broad Axe throwing room. Oh, man, I need to go there. I need to buy tickets for that.
Absolutely, man.
This is amazing.
That's our story. And we actually just hit a cool milestone. We just sold our 6 millionth ticket earlier this week. So that was
6 million tickets? Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Wow, Alex, this is amazing, yo.
Thanks, man.
And look at the companies too, integrations that you have here.
Yeah.
MailChimp, right, and all these other joints, Salesforce, Twitter. Wow, amazing. Amazing. And look, folks, you just go to this website. Do I have to show you again? Because I've been showing y'all right there. GoPassage.com. All right. Keep in touch, like it says right there. That's what you need to do and learn. And now you're an entrepreneur that does run events, because we do have a lot of friends that do things where they're online conventions, real life conventions, in-person events and whatnot. Thank you for even building something like this to actually help entrepreneurs on that level.
That's
again,
awesome.
entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs. That's real.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's how we think about it. As far as any way that we can help, let us know on that side. And we do. We enjoy the heck out of seeing like small businesses grow up and become much bigger on that side. And so, it's just a blast all the time. Yeah.
Do you provide equipment? Because here, like I see, like online and in-person sales, is there equipment associated with this?
Yeah, so
as well?
There's certainly online and at the door aspects of this. You can do online sales. You can do at the door. You can do virtual events. You can do in-person events, all of that. And you can do merch, concessions, subscriptions, all that sort of thing. And one of our philosophies is if you're not selling it, then your fans can't buy it, right? It's like some of these fans are super fans and they have disposable income. They want to support you. So you might as well, start selling it. And yes, part of that is in person. So we have a Bluetooth card reader that you can use to do at the door sales with cards or with Apple Pay or Google Pay, right at the door. Otherwise, and that's, we'll give you one of those for free if you sign up with us. And
really?
Right. Like that's a good value. That's like an $80 value right there.
It is. I mean, look at the device right there, right?
Yeah.
That one.
Yep,
nice.
Exactly. You got it. And our app, for the whole point of sale system that can handle sales for in person and scan in your tickets, lightning fast scan-ins, runs on an iOS or Android. So you can use it on an iPad, iPhone, Android. Tablet,
thank you for thinking of us Android users. Thank you.
I'm an Android user. Yeah.
Anyway, go Android. No hate on Apple. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's our thing, man. Like we try to keep it as simple, low cost, and let these little businesses grow. These smaller event organizers grow and try to do something there. In fact, we do have a cool program. Sorry, do you have another question?
No, because I'm seeing here again, just to kind of hit that 100% free for events can be passed on to the ticket purchaser, any cost, right? And now for free forever when you sign up. I mean, zero cost for the event, all fees are passed on to the customer by default. I mean, as a business person, and look at those rates. You're not lying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even a comparison below that with like Eventbrite and some of the others, just so you can see, kind of where we go in there when you're doing those sales. So yeah, it's pretty low on that side. Yeah.
Whoa, you are murdering these other people. Let me tell you, these other companies. Wow, look at this. Look at that. $3, you got TicketLeap at 4.8. Eventbrite, like basically way over even half of that. Geez, and Universe, forget about it, murdering. Yeah. And then, so how? If someone wants to schedule the demo, how does that even work? That whole process?
Yeah, I mean, usually, so we kind of like be involved as much as you want us to be, right? Like we know some people are kind of hands off; they don't want to talk to anybody. Fine, you can just go click set up or sign up, and we have a nice like virtual tour in the background, and you can kind of learn things on your own. That's a-okay. But if you want some help, that's where I think it really shines. We have really hands-on support team and that side of things. So if you want to schedule a demo, we would love to show you around the system. And it's one-on-one. It's just like a Zoom call, basically. We use Google Meet most of the time, but it's that virtual, video chat type call. And so we're going to actually show you things based on what you tell us about your event. We're going to help you brainstorm on how you could like bring your event to the next level. So it's kind of like consultative as well as showing you around our platform. And then the same once you get set up, like you can set your own stuff up, or you can tell us your details and we'll set up your event details on our platform for you. So you can just start sharing that link and making money, see money go into your bank account. So it can be that simple. And then the last thing I'll say is, again, we really focus on smaller event organizers, and we know sometimes they need some cash infusion to get their event to the next level. So we actually do have a really cool program we started during the pandemic when a lot of people needed, some cash in a tough time, called Passage Capital. And that is our way of like getting some funding in the hands of folks that need it. Ooh. So normally we don't have any contracts with that program. You would have a multi-year contract. We just want to make sure we're making the money back, but it's not a loan. So you're not paying us back. There's no personal guarantee. You're just committing to work with us for the next, 3 years or whatever, if you're doing business for 3 years. So we often recommend like you try the system out, make sure it works well for you before signing up for that, but if you do want to sign up for that, you can get cash infusion. We've given them anywhere from like $500 up to like $100,000, depending on, your ticket sales and how long you want to be involved in the contract and that sort of thing. So that could be a really cool deal. Yeah.
That sounds absolutely amazing, folks. Again, this is awesome. Alex, you are really providing a service for entrepreneurs and people that create events. I mean, my last question here. So if, for example, I wanted to do something for charity, are you able to even help with that through Passage, for ticket sales or whatever, to help that charity, make sure that we could produce as much funds for them as possible?
Yes, 100%. So number one, we have the features to help you. So you can sell tickets. You can have a virtual live stream thing to where people can attend virtually. You can do donation upsell. So we have all the features you need on that side. Number two, this is really cool. We can actually cut down your service fees. So let us know. It's not well publicized. I got to get it on the website in bigger words there, but it's in the fine print and some stuff. But let us know. I'm telling you, let us know if you're a nonprofit. We can actually cut your service fees in half, which is really cool. And then we do have features for like pay what you can tickets, so you could set a minimum or set the minimum at $0 or set the minimum at $5 and let people pay what they can. And you can accept donations during a virtual event such as this, type thing. If somebody wanted to tune in live on our virtual event page and registered, they don't necessarily have to pay for the registration. You could make that free, but now you've got them on your email list as like somebody who's interested, in your events. And they have the opportunity to chat and to potentially, give you a donation during the live stream, which is a really cool functionality too. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Ooh, come on, Crusaders. I think we have an idea and finally found a great company that maybe can help us achieve the goals that we want. This is dope. This is wonderful.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. So, Al, thank you so much for your time, for real. Because I know you're a busy man. You got stuff going on. But folks, pick this man's brain if you have the opportunity.
Hit me up.
Yeah, right there. I want you to go visit comiccrusaders.shop. Check out the website. All right. See how gorgeous it is and see how much information is there that can help you make a very smart decision. All right. And if you want to follow Alex, all you got to hit him up on Twitter, Alex Linebrink. You could go visit him on LinkedIn as well. Also, Alex Linebrink. But you need to follow Passage on the Twitter, the Meta, the Instagram at Go Passage. Show the love. Tell them Mega and the Crusaders sent you. All right. Follow, support. This is the future stuff. He knows how to use the technology. Again, we come from that generation that appreciated life and tech. So there we go. It's a wonderful meld, man with a good heart right here. So flowers, brother. Thank you for providing that type of service and helping people. I mean, see, you are in service to others. There's nothing but greatness is going to come your way. All right.
That's
We're
awesome.
manifesting. Passage is going to be the one passage to make sure that people get satisfaction, for you.
I love it.
So you got this, brother. Thank you.
I love it. Well, thank you, Al, and please, I keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you for showcasing, some of the awesome things going on out there, and for encouraging, the next generation to do awesome stuff like this. Love that mission too, and you've built an awesome brand through the years. So back at you, man.
Thank you, man. But again, it's because of this I have the opportunity and pleasure and honor to speak to people like you and get these opportunities to pick them brains and just, get as motivated as well. But this also motivates me. It makes me even hungrier as well. So,
Love it.
You're providing good stuff. So, bless on that. And folks, again, one last time, follow Alex Linebrink on LinkedIn. You can also follow him on Twitter. All right. And of course, it's all about Passage. So Go Passage, Twitter, Meta, Instagram, and of course, that dope website, gopassage.com. Go book a demo today, all right? Especially if you got an event popping up. Because horror season is coming upon us real quick.
There you go.
So, if you got a haunted house, that's the man to talk to right there because he has that experience, right? I am so much digging this conversation. Thank you again, Al. And Comic Crusaders, my Crusaders, me, gente, you know what to do. Follow everything Comic Crusaders at comiccrusaders.com. Check out the extended family at undercovercapes.com. Follow us everywhere in the socials at Comic Crusaders. And if you want to follow my madness, it's just very simple. The real Al Mega, all right? Yes, I'm back in New York, like it says right there. I'm in Brooklyn, so New York, I'm here. Let's get it done, baby. And with that, Mega is out. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. ¡Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.